Okay. Okay. Gonna get started in just a moment here. Okay, so just give me one moment here. Okay. Is 11:38 p.m. and it looks like tonight is going to be a fun night to do a Let's Play video. So, let us go ahead. What is up, everybody? This is Xenonite-XE6 here, and welcome to part 17 of my Let's Play of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. This is the 17th part of this Let's Play. And so, in the last part, we did the next part of the trial for episode 5, Rise from the Ashes. And we had to talk with both Officer Meekins and Detective Jake Marshall to find out if one of them was the true culprit behind Bruce Goodman's death. But we found out a few surprises. One not so surprising thing was that Officer Meekins was innocent. But surprisingly, Detective Jake Marshall was also innocent. And then we also found out that his brother was actually involved in an incident. The same for Lana and Emma, who were part of the incident known as the SL-9 incident, which took place years ago while Miles Edgeworth was doing his investigation process. And Miles Edgeworth doing his thing when he was starting out. But then we also found out that Lana Skye revealed something surprising, that they were forging evidence to get this person guilty, who was the culprit of the SL-9 incident. And we also are trying to figure out a lot of other stuff that went down. But if you haven't watched the last video, I recommend you guys go check that out. You can probably check that out after this video, or whatever. But if you haven't checked out the last part yet, you should probably go check that out, because a lot happened in that last part. There's a lot I can say, but, I'm just only going to say a few of those things, like Jake Marshall and Officer Meekins are not the killer, so that means someone else has to be the killer. So in this part 17, we're going to be doing the investigation process again, but this time we're also going to gather some information about the SL-9 incident, so we're going to gather more information about that. So, yeah. And this is going to be the only thing we're going to do in this video, which is the investigation process. I'm not going to do the trial in this video. I'm going to save the trial for the next video, part 18, so that's going to be in the next video. So for this video, we're only going to do the investigation process. So let's just go ahead and get started. Investigation day 3. And we talked with Emma a little bit as well after the trial. So let's talk to her and see what she knows about the SL-9 incident. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day. Unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office.
Joe Darkey.
It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up.
Jake Marshall's brother.
Joe Darkey tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then...
What happened?
I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now.
A permanent picture?
I don't remember the moment when Darkey stabbed Mr. Marshall.
So you weren't able to testify about that?
No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime.
Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence?
The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it.
Edgeworth?
Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it.
Oh, okay, so Edgeworth didn't know about Lana forging evidence. Okay, so Lana was trying to do everything she can to get Joe Darkey guilty, even if she had to come up with bogus evidence. So that's why Miles easily won the case, basically.
He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened.
So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence.
After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today.
She must have not been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred?
Darkey knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife.
While Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl.
I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms.
Poor Emma. You've been through so much.
I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good.
2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable.
Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way Lana could never have to forge any.
I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma.
What is it?
You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right?
That's right.
Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor.
Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Darkey had been taken in for questioning that day.
Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police?
Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office.
But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office?
Because the detective's offices and the questioning room are right across from the elevator.
Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she?
No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force.
What? That's news to me.
After the Joe Darkey case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor.
Lana used to be a detective? I'd better have another talk with her.
Okay, I guess we're going to the detention center next. February 24th, detention center visitors room. Lana! Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble.
Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type.
Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risk.
Lana, Emma told me about you.
Oh?
About how you were a detective 2 years ago. And how the SL-9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office.
That's right.
Could you fill me in on the details, especially about the unusual change of jobs?
I suppose you have the right to know, Mr. Wright.
A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago.
Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul.
Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department.
Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me.
I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before.
It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. If they still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together.
Chief Gant?
He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filled.
Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened?
I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL-9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office.
Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago.
2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Darky.
Second in command? That means the investigation led was Damon Gant, right?
Yes. Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations.
They even have the same office.
We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Darkey was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place.
When he tried to murder Emma.
Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Darky. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me.
Now you tell us.
Damon Gant and Niall Marshall were the ones questioning Darky that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Darky must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me.
So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana?
It appears so. I was filling some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Darky. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood.
3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out,
and the suspect, Joe Darky. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Darky had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious.
What did you do?
To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her.
Can't blame her. After all, her sister must have gone through.
After that, I placed Darky under immediate arrest.
Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL-9 incident.
That's right. Quite a coincidence,
I don't buy it.
What are you saying?
There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance.
But that case was solved 2 years ago.
At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved.
Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Darky. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories.
That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Darky at the police department, right?
Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself. The chief's office.
Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office. The site of the final SL-9 murder.
February 24th, Police Station Criminal Affairs Department.
I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere.
Things seem kind of quiet around here today.
You're right. Chief, a detective seems the same though.
Why don't we look for some other people to talk to?
Right. We can come back here later.
Okay. So, if it is true that the SL-9 case has not been solved yet, that means there's still many more mysteries to be solved. And maybe Jake Marshall might be onto something.
Howdy, Bambina.
Oh, Mr. Marshall.
I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera, you never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina?
Hopefully I got that one right. Que sera. Hopefully I did pronounce that correctly. If I didn't, I apologize.
I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning.
Billy?
Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner.
But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it?
Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I need to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean fishy?
some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon.
The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip?
That was Joe Darkey's all right. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised.
A question?
The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained.
What does that mean?
It means there's a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, the possibility had been erased.
Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence?
That case left behind scars on all of us.
The scars that the SL-9 incident left behind.
I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together.
How old was he? Your brother?
He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day.
The highest honor? You mean the
King of Prosecutors.
I knew it.
What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor.
Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother.
The day the SL-9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as...
That's right. It was the day of the evidence transferal.
Interesting.
It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die.
Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty.
There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room.
What about Detective Goodman?
If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be obvious. They?
Who are you talking about?
Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Scott. The investigation led Damon Gant and his second-in-command, Lana Scott. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers.
After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right?
Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective.
Now that he mentions it, Emma says something like that too.
Tell me, what happened to my sister?
Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out.
Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago.
So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner?
It was certainly enlightening.
There's one thing for sure I found out in the court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina.
Wow.
So Damon Gant could be behind whatever happened. Okay. So let's see real quick of the people. So, oh, what's this? Oh, Joe Darkey. Okay. I was like, who's that? Okay. So basically, Damon Gant could still be a possible suspect. Because if there was a chance that he might have forged the evidence, that means he could be the ones with the 3 numbers. Well, the 7 numbers. Let me just show it real quick. Which is numbers 777, 7777. Because the killer would have to enter the evidence room at 4:20 p.m., 20 minutes before Miles Edgeworth, and 10 minutes before Mike Meekins, and then almost like half hour when Bruce Goodman comes around, and the same for Mike Meekins. So if Damon Gant is the one that has the police officer number 777, 7777, then he could be the true culprit. Because, like in the past, I thought it was probably Angel Starr or Jake Marshall, because they were both, because I feel like they were both suspicious with how they used the evidence. I mean, even though Lana Skye could still be a possibility, but it seems that both Angel and Jake are innocent, and I still want to believe Lana is innocent too. And I still want to say that Damon might be the true suspect behind this case, because if he is the one that was behind forging the evidence and killing Bruce Goodman, then that means he could be the true killer behind this case. But it's uncertain right now if he is the true killer, so I guess we'll have to figure it out later on. Okay, let's go to the underground parking lot next. That's going to be the next place to go to.
No one's here today. Not even Miss Starr.
Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are.
But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m.
Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case.
But instead it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty.
Hang in there, Lana.
I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow.
Let's see if Miles Edgeworth might have some details.
Mr. Edgeworth isn't here.
Maybe he's being questioned by the inquiry community. He took a real beating in court today.
Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago.
I guess we'll just have to come back later.
Okay, so where to go to next? Let's see. I might have to show some evidence, possibly. Oh, here we go again. February 24th, police station. I'll save real quick so I won't lose any progress.
This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted.
That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes.
Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Ah, thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do. About Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media in tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those.
Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office.
Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor.
Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything.
Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office.
Oh my goodness. The chief's office. Oh, wow. He even has an accordion or something like the piano with the big pipes. Wow.
Whoa. Where am I?
In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door.
Check out that pipe organ.
Oh, it's a pipe organ.
That's real, isn't it?
Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. And they used to call me Little Miss Batch. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. I never could remember where C was.
Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, righto. Have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full, too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocated statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? That's a picture of Lana, Niall, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Niall Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though.
Oh, it must be the vase, because I see the vase over there. Gant's team picture. Photo at the award ceremony of Gant, Lana, and Niall.
Anyway, I like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's get out together.
Oh, but this office. It was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore.
All the same, we still like to have a look around.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend.
Looks like we aren't welcome.
It seems that case isn't over with yet, after all.
What do you mean?
Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there.
You mean, like, a clue?
There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Yeah, because there is something suspicious going on. Let's see. Okay, Damon's hiding something, and it looks like this could be a clue.
Hey, pal.
Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting?
I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt.
From sitting so long?
Actually, from serving everyone coffee.
Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop.
Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth?
Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask?
He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court.
That sounds serious.
Is it because of what my sister said?
That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood.
Yikes.
But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she?
Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this...
Are there really so many people who hate him?
In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. It seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier, while the coffee was brewing. He seems generally concerned for Edgeworth.
Well, did you find out anything?
The only evidence Darky left behind was during his final attack.
His final attack?
You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl?
Mia.
It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
Well, what was it?
Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forgot. I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in there, okay?
His powers of recollection never fail to impress.
Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory.
Joe Darky was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-off-the-mill businessman.
Businessman? What made him take to serial killing?
One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
With his car? So, it was an accident?
An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal.
An animal?
He killed a man that witnessed the incident. Then he killed a lady who saw the scene crime. A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then when he was burying the bodies, a jogger came upon the scene and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in.
Seems like he was a pretty careless animal.
Of course, this all conjuncture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence.
So he turned himself in.
Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim, Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Darky was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed.
That last witness, aka Emma. About this.
Hey, is that?
It has a tag attached to it with the label SL-9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of.
What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker.
On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. It was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
That's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me.
Well, what was it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again!
This knife. It was Joe Darky's, wasn't it?
That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at. Plus, it had his fingerprints on it, too.
But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right?
That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look to notice that.
Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
The victim, Niall Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound.
Did it match Darky's knife?
You bet, down to the last fiber.
That's pretty conclusive.
Stabbed in the back, died from punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. The broken tip was found in the victim's body, belonged to murderer Joe Darky.
Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant.
It's not money, but it does concern the chief.
His office is a crime scene, right? Excuse me. It's where Prosecutor Niall Marshall was murdered.
The chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay.
Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door.
What? Really?
But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust.
Breach of trust?
Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh, sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you.
How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's.
That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died.
Oh.
So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office.
I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind.
Is there?
Fancy ID card record, isn't it?
Yes. There's only one number left to investigate. At 4:20 p.m. The victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive office number.
7777777.
That's 17 too many, Detective.
An executive officer.
I just might have a hunch.
About that jar. I think I've seen it before somewhere.
Somewhere?
Or maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives.
This must be the most uninformative detective I've ever met.
Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me. Chief Gant? Where could I have seen that before? I've been studying up on those files. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Edgeworth's presentation. To think people are accusing him of injustice. I, for one, ain't buying it, pal.
You're looking into the case for Mr. Edgeworth?
Yeah, it was a pretty big deal while it was going on, you know. After all, a serial killer was on the loose.
B'Elanna was pretty clear in her confession. She forged evidence in order to prove Joe Darkey guilty. Okay, there's gotta be something I can show him that might be able to help with the investigation.
This ID card belongs to the victim, Detective Bruce Goodman. You can do just about anything these days with a card and a secret number. Scary.
It's only scary because you keep dropping your card, Detective Gumshoe.
I forget my secret number a lot too. I'm scared of myself. But I'm me, after all. And what could be wrong with that?
I think I'll stay out of this conversation.
Hey, that's it. That's the King of Prosecutors Award that Mr. Edgeworth got the other day.
Were you at the award ceremony, Detective Gumshoe?
Of course, pal. I got an award for diligence myself.
Congratulations.
I was wondering why is the award a shield? And why is it broken?
Oh, there's a reason. I'll tell you what it is later.
Apparently, he's forgotten.
Found in Mr. Edgeworth's card.
Oh, is he just talking about the same thing as he did before? Okay. Let me just get to some things here.
This guy almost made us lose the case today. What are you talking about? He was guarding the bloodstain on that evidence locker with his life. That's more than you can say about most officers nowadays.
It would have saved us a lot of trouble if he hadn't guarded it so well.
I have to admit, he's right, though. Thanks to the Blue Badger, we were able to prove another possibility today.
the possibility that another murder took place prior to 5:15 p.m.
What if it was the, this thing?
Oh, a lost item report, huh?
Very impressive, Detective. You knew what it was right off the bat.
Well, I am a master of misplacement, you know.
Master, that has such a cool ring to it.
The way I see it, if things are meant to be lost, then they're meant to be lost. There's a higher power at work here.
Wow, a higher power.
Maybe I shouldn't let Emma hold any evidence.
What is it I can show him that will get us to the room?
Hey, that powder is used for detecting fingerprints.
Yeah, Mr. Edward gave it to us.
He did what? All I have is some flour. Are you okay, Detective? Quick, run! Achoo! If it's any help, one time I took a nap on a bench with wet paint. Why am I not comfortable?
Okay. Okay, we already get about Miss Star. Okay, is there anything that can get us any closer? Or do I have to go find another item at some point? Because I think I might have to find another item. But I'm going to try out whatever I have right here before I do. Okay,
Lumitol, new and improved growth formula. You mean this can't detect any blood traces?
Well, it's not quite the same thing as Luminol.
So that's why the lady at the counter had that smirk on her face.
okay, let me use it again.
Hey, I just bought some of that stuff. Now I can go around detecting blood traces too.
Wow, is that a new type? I never seen that bottle before. Add 3 inches to your base height.
Base height? Hey, let me see that. Looming tall, new and improved growth formula. You mean this can't detect any blood traces?
Well, it's not quite the same thing as Luminol.
So that's why the lady at the counter had that smirk on her face.
I already showed him that. Showed him that, showed him that, showed him that, showed him that, showed him that. Evidence lock.
Can't believe Officer Marshall would do something like that.
You know Officer Marshall?
Of course I do. He was like a mentor to me. When I first started out, he even gave me a small cactus.
Really?
He said, Dick, she'll listen to all your troubles.
Note to self. Detective Gumshoe talks to a cactus.
Hard to believe he's just a patrolman now. Someone ought to trade places with him. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
I think I may have to come back here later, possibly. Let's see.
Wonder if Edgeworth is back yet.
There he is. It looks like he's writing something.
What? What are you doing here? He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me?
Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you.
That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can erase the fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was falsified? The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. The fact remains the same, no matter what excuse I might have.
Mr. Edgeworth.
I take pride in my work, so tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First, last year's trial, and now this one. Seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial.
Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists. That is odd. After Niall Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time.
Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time.
That picture? Something seemed strange about it. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered. You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one.
Because you were awarded this?
Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends. Clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is until I was asked to take something back.
Take something back?
This.
Oh yeah! Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he?
Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's right.
Okay, I think it's time I show him that picture. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office.
Prosecutor Niall Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy.
Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me.
Yes?
The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours.
Yes, you're right. I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design.
A story?
Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us?
It's simple, really.
Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard this story?
Me? Oh, sure, everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Emma's sake.
Very well. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd. He claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon.
Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other.
Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very description of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless.
It's kind of crazy hearing the objective music during an investigation process. And normally we hear them during the trial phases in the game, but hearing it during the investigation process, that's just, oh my goodness.
When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus, the Chinese word for contradiction was born.
Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize...
Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this.
Wow. Thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today.
That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield?
You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished.
Chief Gant.
2 years ago, the halberd was removed at Gant's behest, giving it its current form. Was the trophy maybe... Was the sword thing the halberd sword thing? Could have been the murder weapon that killed Jake Marshall? Maybe the trophy was used as some sort... This trophy had to be used at some point. Maybe it had to do with something with... Maybe it had something to do with Niall Marshall's trophy. Maybe that was used as a murder weapon instead of Joe Darkey's knife. Because if the switchblade was not the murder weapon, maybe the trophy part, the halberd sword, had to be the murder weapon. But that's only a theory, though. See if there's anything else he'll say. Because right now I'm trying to do the entire investigation.
It seems... Some...
Hey, don't look at me!
Yes, I went into the evidence room on the day of the crime. Chief Gant asked me to do something.
To take evidence from a case solved 6 months ago back to the prosecutor's office.
I have a locker in there as well.
Did you notice anything amiss when you were in the evidence room?
That room's always dark, and I was in a hurry. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. It seems everything in this case is designed to cast doubt on me.
Hey, don't look at me!
Okay, that would just say the same thing. I thought there was going to be something different with that. trying to see if he had anything, if there's anything else he'll say. Like anything else he'll give as information. Because
So I did.
Chief Gant gave it to you that day, didn't he? He asked you to bring it here from the police department.
The chief is a very incompetent man. But sometimes he does things that don't make any sense. At least it's better than being incompetent and doing things that don't make sense. A certain detective comes to mind.
Gumshoe. What if I showed him the switchblade? Nope. I'm just trying to see what can be different here. Maybe I might show him the trophy or something. Unless it's gonna bring me to the story again.
You know, it wouldn't hurt if you put this up somewhere, like on a shelf. That has no meaning for me anymore. What do you mean, anymore? That's who I was last year. What good is it to dwell in the past? He's asking me.
Ugh! Why can't he just accept it graciously? Actually, something's been troubling me about this shield. Look, do you notice anything different?
Different?
Yeah, don't you remember? The Ever Shield in the court record.
I guess I better present the Ever Shield.
The Ever Shield? Look, do you notice anything different? Yeah, don't you remember? The other shield in the court record. What other shield? I don't get it. Whatever shield.
I once dreamed of being a defense attorney a long time ago.
What? You wanted to be a defense attorney, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yet a clear path is laid out before me. I have no time to look back on what might have been.
Okay, that was new. I didn't expect he was going to say that. Yeah, only different now. Where was that?
She's right. Something is amiss here. Maybe I should show Edgeworth that item.
Hang on, what did she say? He won such a prestigious award. Why would he just leave it on the couch?
Yeah, you'd think he'd want to show this thing off more than that giant steel samurai. What is it?
This is the King of Prosecutors Award, right?
Of course it is. You know that.
I saw something today that looks like this somewhere.
Something that looked like that?
Yeah, only different. Now, where was that?
She's right. Something's amiss here.
Oh, wait a minute. Can I show him the photo now? The one that Niall Marshall was holding. Maybe I can finally show it. Let's see.
This picture was hanging on the wall in the Chief Gant's office.
The trophy that Miss Marshall's holding. It's a little different than yours.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I think I've already went for that. Okay. I don't think there's anything else to show, because I think it was just only... Okay, I think I understand. I think it was because of the story thing. Okay, I guess I can move on now. Excuse me. Oh, there she is again. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef?
Miss Starr! I guess she's out of lunches.
You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Okay then. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago.
Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL-9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from the case was due for transferal. This can't all be attributed to mere coincidence.
Aren't you forgetting something? You know of that little scene I happened to witness.
The incident Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife.
No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten.
Miss Starr's hatred toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago.
Joe Darkey. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through hell.
You mean because of his brother's death?
They were close, those two. After Niall died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate.
Her?
Lana Skye.
My sister?
The best of the best were put on that SL-9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo.
Lana and Chief Gant.
That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out.
You mean with the forging of the evidence?
Don't get me wrong. Joe Darkey got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret.
But you don't have proof anything illegal was done.
I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us saved good men were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor.
Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor.
Nothing's quite as simple as it appears.
Huh?
Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter.
She was being used?
Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best.
They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they?
Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal.
His magnetism?
By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He'd produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled.
Incredible evidence? You mean...
Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him, though.
I take it she's talking about forged evidence.
Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her.
Really?
Oh, yes. Myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake.
Mr. Marshall.
When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating.
Miss Starr.
That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that?
Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she?
Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence.
Chief.
That's right. Having solved the SL-9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office.
What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred?
If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along.
But how could he control Lana?
I don't know. But one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change.
At last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr.
You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create the fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chief than I've been. So we're about another step closer. Back to the police station again. Okay, so we're getting closer. So, if Lana's being used, then Damon has to be the reason why Bruce Goodman's killed.
Oh, you're back. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ.
You're a DJ as well?
If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey.
Oh, that DJ!
I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in the SL-9 incident. I have to take a look in there.
There's gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind.
About that jar. I think I've seen it somewhere. I've seen it before somewhere. Somewhere? Or maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives. This must be the... Okay. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office. Okay.
There's gotta be a way in that office. Because I am this close to solving this case thing here. But it's like I'm missing something. What if I have to show something? Hang on. Wait, did she have enough... Oh, okay, so she doesn't have anything else to say.
Seems everything is somehow related to this incident.
What was the label again? The SL-9 incident?
Yes, the name of everyone connected to this trial is listed here. All that's left is to figure out just what role everyone plays in this case. If we search hard enough, I think we'll find our answers. What exactly did or didn't Lana do?
I'm not sure I want to know everything.
Okay, I'm kind of lost here a little bit. So I need to figure out a way how I can get in to the police department's thing. Maybe I have to investigate around. Maybe see if there's anything.
The whole police department has been dancing about like crazy since the other day.
Can I take out his batteries? I just can't help but feel he's going to do something naughty.
Maybe if I investigate a little bit here, maybe I might find a clue.
I always get excited when I come to a police station.
Why is that?
It just feels like I've jumped into a movie.
Huh?
You know, with all the police and criminals.
Well, I don't know if this is all that exciting.
Sure it is. Look at those two officers over there. They're probably talking about the latest bust.
Funny. I thought they were talking about the weather.
Convince him to lead, because Gumshoe could be the only person left that could actually lead me in there.
What? Darky's case may have been fabricated? That's what I thought all along. I just never bothered to tell anyone. Now there's a guy who cares about his work. Oh, Francisca, you're more lovely than a Mersopilin. Quite, Jean Mark. Words will just spoil the moment. Now hold me close. Yes, this approach allows for...
Oh my goodness.
It seems he's given up on the mystery genre.
There's gotta be a way in.
Detective, here's my attorney's badge. You show this to me every time we meet, pal. Real men show their police badge. Enough said.
I wish I had a badge. Even an ID card would be nice.
There's really gotta be something that can get me back in. Because if I show him something that... Oh my goodness. This is gonna be tricky. Because I gotta find a way how I can get back into Damon's office. Because he is up to something. And I am trying everything I can right here. I
I'm even trying to show him every single thing I've collected so far. Maybe it has something to do with the murder weapon thing? Not quite sure exactly. But right now this could be my only chance of trying to get... No, I've already shown him that. I know that wouldn't work. If only... Because this jar has to do... This jar had to lead to something. What am I supposed to do? Okay, let me just... I have no idea what to do. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Maybe if I show some evidence to Lana, maybe she might say something. Let's see. Because I might need to find some certain... I may need to use some sort of piece of evidence that could connect with this. Because I'm not sure if I have the thing that Gumshoe needs or something. I am just stuck, and I do not want to end up looking this up to find out what the answer was in order to get further. I guess this is a good thing I'm saving the trial thing for the next part, because basically it's a good thing. Okay. There's gotta be something, unless I gotta examine some of these evidence again. Because right now, I'm trying to talk with Lana. See if there's any matchings to anything. Because I have no idea if there's anything else I can look for. Unless there's more hidden blood spots somewhere. can't enter spray mode anymore, can I? Let me see. Oh yeah, I don't think I can anymore, I don't think. So, is Mr. not going to say anything else at this point? Because I am trying everything to see if there's a way to get further. Because like I said, I really want to try to get further in this investigation process so that way I can try to wrap it all up. Wait, what did he say? That's where he found that note.
221 SL-9. The SL-9 incident.
A case that was due for transferal the day of the murder. I never knew the SL-9 incident referred to
The Joe Darky killings. Everyone in this case played some part in that incident. This has to be more than just sheer coincidence.
This is really... I really have no idea what to do. Oh. Well, I can actually look at the paper. Oh, wait. I haven't actually looked at the paper Miles threw down. Let's see what this is.
I wonder what he was writing for.
Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look.
Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there.
Just distract him. I'll check it out.
Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground!
Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet.
He didn't even look.
What? Letter of...
If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says, letter of resignation. Resignation.
He's resigning? Oh no! Resignation? Resignation?
Okay, that was what I missed. I should have just examined Miles Edgeworth's room. But once again, I go too far, and basically I'm missing out the important details and not looking for the rooms properly. This is what I get.
Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean...
I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died.
But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault.
I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either.
Uh-oh. I think he's serious.
Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something.
This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything.
Edgeworth's discarded letter of resignation. He's serious. Let's see what it says. Due to recent recent events, I hereby announce my resignation as public prosecutor.
You really wrote a resignation letter.
Wow, even when resigning, Mr. Edgeworth is cool and concise. Still, it wasn't his fault.
Someone has to be held responsible. That's how it is in the grown-up world.
Yeah, but that responsibility means nothing if you just quit.
Well, not everyone sees it that way.
To truly take responsibility, you should have to work the rest of your life for no pay.
That's one tough grown-up world there.
Okay.
They say that where there's smoke, there's fire. Apparently, I was so caught up in the smoke, I lost sight of the truth. Edgeworth, the others are right. I have no right to serve as a prosecutor.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you were only doing your job.
I've always made my own decisions about what I can or cannot do. That hasn't changed. Forgiving myself is something I cannot do. Oh, I think he's serious.
Okay, maybe this is something I need to show Gumshoe. Maybe if I show him this piece of evidence, maybe he'll start caring. Here we go.
What's this crumbled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious! Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they pushed him this far!
Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible.
When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice, too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him.
Detective.
That's it. I've made up my mind.
But...
Here, take my ID card. We can't do that. If someone found out...
They wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report.
Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least, let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, Detective. Thank you.
Gumshoe's ID tucked swiftly into pocket. A police department ID card allows access to areas the PD open to detectives. Okay, so this is it. This is exactly what we need. February 24th, Police Department, Chief's Office. Here goes, Mr. Wright. We're in. If anyone finds us now...
Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out.
Sorry, I thought you were a ghost.
I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Detective Gumshoe! What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. If you're here, then what's the point in giving us your ID card?
Gumshoe's ID crushed and rendered unusable in pocket.
Hey, don't do that to my card! I hardly ever get a chance to come in here, so I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now.
You really do want to get fired, don't you?
Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out. I've got a bad feeling about this. The desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's?
Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago.
Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. That's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see.
So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk.
No one except Chief Gant. cleaning lady who's in here each morning.
Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining.
Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because this is one of the SL-9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it?
Why do you ask?
You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be.
No.
No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Okay, now then, let's look around a bit more.
Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy.
Huh? What is it?
When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go at that.
Sorry, this guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you?
You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you?
What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him?
Chief Gant.
So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet.
There you go, ignoring me again.
Poor Gumshoe. Oh my goodness. Okay, we gotta investigate. Let's see.
The Chief's organ sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing it from the Criminal Affairs Department.
That's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th floor of an entirely different building.
When a detective screws up, the Chief calls them to his office and makes them listen to the organ for hours.
What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul.
After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in their ears.
So it's an instrument of punishment.
Literally.
But aren't the Chief's ears affected?
He never listens to anyone anyway.
That's besides the point.
This was taken on that day 2 years ago.
The day Joe Darky ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma.
After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Then went along with Chief Gant to question Darky. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later.
Gee, you think? These shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf.
Hey, this is when Lana and I went to that theme park.
Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside.
This is the 15th floor.
I know, I was just saying.
Saying what?
Ever since making Detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that.
Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams.
So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired.
Don't say that.
This was Lana's desk. It sure is tidy.
Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner.
There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here?
No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends are made of.
Does he keep it in memory of her, or in memory of the crime? Let's move on to the next side.
You can see pretty far from 15 stories up. If you were to drop that suit of armor from here...
At first, the Chief wanted to use stained glass for this window.
Really? Why didn't he?
They say he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view.
Oh.
Stained glass or not, it's a huge window. This is the real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons.
Sure is, pal. The Chief doesn't care for imitations.
First the pipe organ, now this armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room?
What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes.
You don't have any taxes to pay. Shh, be careful of what you say. Who knows? Chief may be hiding in this armor as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there.
Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out.
Cut it out! You guys don't know how scary that guy can be.
Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk.
Speaking of that, when we were here earlier... Oh, it's you two! Chief Gant! He put that paper he was reading in his desk. I wonder what he was reading. This looks like a list of evidence. A list of evidence? In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though.
Hey, look at the case name.
Huh? SL-9 incident. I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, Detective. What did you just say? I said, I wonder what... No, about evidence lists. Normally, they're twice as long. That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. A half-size list of evidence.
The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long.
What would the other half of the list be doing here?
I knew it. The chief must be hiding something about that case.
It would appear so.
List of evidence in the SL-9 incident was ripped in half, so this part is all I've got.
Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk.
We found this inside the drawer. A list of evidence from the SL-9 incident.
Mr. Edgeworth had the other half of that list.
What would this list be doing here? We better look a little more into this list.
There's a picture.
I wonder what this is. It looks like someone drew some kind of sketch here.
What is it? Did you find something?
I can't make it out. I'd better keep quiet about it for now. Huh? Oh, no, it's nothing.
Why are your eyes moving about like that, Mr. Wright?
I better not forget about this picture. This is a safe, isn't it? Safe? That word is ripe with intrigue. Okay, if you say so.
It looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it.
A 7-digit number. I think I just might know what it is. Do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my birth date? It's... I have a better idea. Here goes nothing.
What if it was all the sevens? Let me see. Code.
Bingo!
Wait a minute. Let me go back. Okay, the reason why I put in 7777777 was that I was like trying to see if that was it, but it's... Wait a minute. No way. I think I know who did it. I think it was... Damon had to be the killer. Whatever is in that safe has to be the final clue that could pin him guilty of the crime. So Angel was right. Lana was used. So Lana and Miles fell into a trap. What time is it right now? Okay, 1:20. I need to be pretty quiet because it is late. But I'm almost done with the stream anyway. But, oh my gosh. That means Damon Gant has to be the killer. There's no other possibility. He must have entered in the same room with Bruce Goodman. He must have lured Bruce Goodman into a trap and Damon strike him. I think I solved the case, but I think in the trial we have to really see how this all plays out. What number did you enter?
Whose birthday was that, pal? 7777777. The final ID card number on that record.
What?
The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered that room that day. You mean 7777777? That ID number? I think you're 1 7 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number.
Say, anyone care to look inside? Okay, this is it. No, not move. Let's take a look inside.
Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away?
Look, it's it's the upper piece of the jar.
A shard from a broken cup. This somehow looks familiar. Where have you seen this before?
There's something else in here too.
What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth.
This is a handprint, isn't it?
Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, it was just a thought.
Is that it? This is all that was in the safe?
Apparently so. It's empty now. Piece of cloth with a handprint on it, and a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great. Now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the SL-9 incident?
Come on, there's got to be something we can show the detective. Actually, there's one.
Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? I remember when the three of us put that back together. Those were the days. It's kind of early to be nostalgic.
Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case?
That's right. One of the shards had an SL-9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, that fragment we just found? You mean this one? That was in the safe?
Yes, that one. That was in the safe.
Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do.
Mr. Wright, here's some glue.
If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. There! It fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL-9 incident.
But...
Hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached. It's different from the others.
There's a reddish line on it.
A reddish line? That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe?
Evidence from the SL-9 incident. Final fragment found in Chief Gant's safe. Blood traces.
Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this. Hey, I know what that is. So you want to take some fingerprints?
That's a great idea, Detective.
Alright, go down. Sheesh. Go to town. Sheesh. What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Go ahead, take my fingerprints.
It's not your fingerprints we want to take.
Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about that cloth we found in the safe. Oh, I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor?
Okay, Miss Wright, let's check for prints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth. Then, once they've been absorbed into the prints, blow the rest away.
What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. Alright, let's get this over with.
Okay, once again doing the dusting part again. Man, this investigation process is really being long, and like I said, it's like somewhere around 1 in the morning, so I gotta be pretty quiet. I don't want to be too loud, because people are probably asleep right now. So I don't want to be too loud. And I'm gonna sprinkle this as much as I can on the screen, like I did in the last investigation. Okay. La 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 la. I don't know why, but I always sprinkle the entire screen with the powder thing. That's just how I do it, I guess. Okay. So now now I think I'm like another step closer to solving this case. Okay, let me just make sure I'm covering whatever I can, so that way I can have a perfect fingerprint. And then we'll see if it matches with Damon Gant.
I gave it my best shot.
That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it?
But it doesn't look like we'll get a clearer result from this print.
Okay, let's try a different finger then. Okay, that didn't work out. Let's try the second finger. I'm just doing it in order from the fingers. Okay. Let's spray this again with the dust. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. And yes, I'm literally gonna sprinkle the entire screen with the dust powder for every fingerprint. I don't know, because it's a lot more easier that way. For me anyway, I feel like it's a lot more easier. Okay, let me make sure I got everything covered up from head to toe, and blow.
I gave it my best shot.
That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? Okay, so it's not this finger. Okay, let's try the middle finger. Let's see if that will give a clue. Let's see here. Man, it's almost been 2 hours since I started this stream. And I'm still doing the investigation process because I got lost a couple times already, like crazy. Okay, let's see if there's any evidence. Well, if there's a fingerprint that will match the one, that will hopefully match the one with Damon's fingerprint. Because if Damon is truly the culprit, we have to find out exactly if there's a fingerprint that will match with it. Hopefully the third time will be the charm, so that way I won't have to worry about the other fingerprints. Okay. Oh, that's a clear one. Okay, compare it with Damon. What? No, that doesn't match.
It looks like we're out of clues this time.
Yeah. But it was inside the chief's safe.
Right, along with that shard.
So that means it's got to have something to do with that incident.
The one that happened right here in this room. She's right. We should check the fingerprints of everyone who was in there that day. The way I see it, there's a higher power at work here. You just gotta have faith.
Okay, so let's see. Who else? Okay. Let's try Lana. Okay, so she's safe. Okay. So that wasn't Lana. So it wasn't Lana. So at least that's good. Let's try Bruce. Okay. Jake Marshall? Nope, wasn't Jake. Okay. That leaves a couple people left. But it's not Officer Meekins, so I won't do him. I think Emma's finger match. Oh geez. It is Emma.
No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here?
Hey, you found a match! Whose fingerprints were they?
Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match.
Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Darky's prints.
Psst. Hey you, over here. What's going on here? What are that kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this.
Found in Chief Gant's safe. Evidence for something, but what? Bears Emma Sky's prints.
Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now, that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat? Chief Gant! We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID card on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But, sir... Now get out. Yes, sir. We'll be on our way too, then. Wait, you're the one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet.
Me, sir?
I'd like a word with you.
But, sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet.
You with the spiky hair. You're free to go.
Mr. Wright!
Look, pal. If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew I'd be like this, I never would have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why has she kept eerily silent about that all this time? Anyway, you listening to me, pal? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day.
Okay, we're back to see Lana. I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning.
It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here.
But I've already told you I can.
What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing.
Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman.
You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words.
Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right.
Edgeworth?
Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe.
Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. Showing evidence is going to be any good now. Got to get Lana to tell me everything she's hiding.
Mr. Wright, you're evolving my leaps and bounds. I'm starting to see the hunger in your eyes.
I have to admit I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual.
What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say. So you think I'm protecting this person?
Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence.
For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, who, may I ask, is this person you're speaking of? The one I am supposedly so frightened of. What is this person's name?
Take that!
Well, Miss Skye?
Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place.
I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans.
My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? Let me save real quick, because this is getting interesting. We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective.
Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes?
His crimes?
Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically hiding and forging evidence.
Of course. These are serious offenses.
Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned?
Chief Gant?
Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was...
me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation.
Yes, you, but also one other. Damon Gant.
If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case.
Take that!
I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL-9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him?
Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmise. I cannot disobey the chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder.
Why not?
Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate.
In the murder of Detective Goodman.
Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day.
I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected, despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman.
Correct. I was trying to make the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body.
The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife?
No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it.
The knife from the SL-9 incident. Serial killer Joe Darker's knife.
I couldn't just leave that knife in him, so I took it out and
stabbed him with another knife.
That would be Edgeworth's knife.
That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand.
And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand.
Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in him.
Miss Starr, huh? Why did you need to hide Darky's knife so badly?
It took a lot of work to finally close the Darky case 2 years ago. It was over with. I had never wanted to be open again. My intent was to prevent that, by whatever means possible.
So you hid Darky's knife?
The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Darky's case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that.
So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it? In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe?
Right. Then I called my sister to tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler.
You asked Emma?
I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this.
That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence.
Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day.
A bad feeling?
The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall.
To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him?
The lead investigator for the SL-9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed it, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least, I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own.
Oh, you mean...
Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands.
He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence.
He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared.
So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room?
I'm afraid that's all I can tell you.
But Lana...
You've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow.
Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago.
And Damon's gonna try to have Emma convinced that she killed Jake's brother. Maybe that's why Damon had her stayed. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I'll exit out. Okay. So, we now know that Damon Gant is involved in Bruce Goodman's murder. And we found out that the fingerprints on the cloth was Emma's. So that means if I had to guess, we are going up against two people. Lana's sister Emma and Damon. We already went up against Damon once for the whole evidence room thing. Now we gotta go up against him again in this trial. Now I'm not sure what's gonna happen with Emma, because Damon might try to have Emma lie. Try to convince that she was the one that killed, or what. So this is going to be a very interesting trial. I'm not sure what Damon told Emma, but it looks like Emma's going to be working against us At least for now. So right now at this point, I feel that this final part of the trial is probably going to be the most longest and probably the most emotional trial yet. But we now know that Damon Gant is the true killer. We have to figure out how he did it and why he had Lana do the dirty work. So we now know 100% that Lana Skye is innocent. But now he's going to use Emma to get Lana guilty. That's his final wall of people. And oh my goodness, this is going to be a trial that is going to probably end in crazy misery. Oh boy. Alright, so that means we only have one more thing left to do now. Beat the trial. That is the last thing we have to do in this game. For the first game anyway. And once the final day of the trial wraps, and once we can prove Lana Skye's innocence, then that means Damon, and then that means we will beat not only the 5th episode, Rise from the Ashes, but we will also beat the first of the 3 games of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. Like I said, Damon's going to use Emma as his last shield of defense. And Emma, oh my goodness. I have no idea what's going to happen in this last part for the first game. But anyway, guys, it is late. And as much as I would like to do the trial now, I'm going to save that for the next video. As I said in the beginning of this video, I did say I was going to save the trial for the next video. And that is what we are going to do. So the finale of episode 5, Rise from the Ashes. And the finale of the first game. If I decide to split the trial into 2 parts, it is. Okay, anyway. But we're going to save the trial part for the next video. So guys, that is going to be it for part 17 of this Let's Play of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. I hope you guys are enjoying this Let's Play as much as I am. And this is going to be very interesting. So, in the next part, we are going to be doing the finale of the first game. Well, yeah, the finale of Rise from the Ashes. The only thing is I don't know how long this part of the trial is going to take. Hopefully, I can get through it pretty quickly. But depending on what evidence we need to use, and with so little evidence we have gotten, because we only got 3 or 4 other pieces of evidence. But anyway, guys, in the next part, part 18, we are going to be wrapping up episode 5, Rise from the Ashes. And we are going to be taking down, and also we are going to be challenging Damon in the trial. And quite possibly Emma, because I believe Damon's going to have Emma take the stand and be Damon's defendant. Oh my goodness, this is going to be crazy. I'm not sure what Damon told Emma, but I guess we're going to find out in the next part and see what's going down. So anyway, guys, you do not want to miss you do not want to miss the next part of this Let's Play. And yeah, after the 5th trial is done, we will be finished with the first of the 3 games of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. Because there is a few other, because there are 2 other games in this one we're going to tackle with, that we're going to do. But oh my goodness, we're finally reaching the end of the first game. We are almost there. We just have the trial to do, and then after that, we will be all done. And I'm really hoping that we'll finally end this. So anyway, guys, like I said, in the next part, we are going to be wrapping up the 5th trial, and we'll be solving all the mysteries, not only in Bruce Goodman's murder, but also the SL-9 incident. And like I said, we'll be going up against Damon Gant And this will be the battle against the head of the police department in this game. And also the finale of the first game, which is crazy that we're at the end. Which I'm hoping is the end. I'm hoping there's no other plot twist or something. Well, there is going to be some plot twist in the next part of the trial. In this part of the trial. Oh my goodness. Anyway, guys, I'm just going to wrap this up. So anyway, guys, until next time, this is Xenonite XE6. Hope you guys have a good night. And I will see you guys in part 18 of my Let's Play of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. And I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, farewell and have a good night.